we are in the presence of a celebrity right now. This is
We are.
She did the Super Bowl commercial with Bill Murray and Jeep.
That's it right there.
This is it. This is the one that started it all.
You planned that.
No, I didn't, but yeah, that's cool.
Could we be in line for something funny to come out of the mouth?
Just might happen. What a little cute.
She's the best.
Everyone deserves to feel their best. Everyone deserves to move their best and not have pain.
I'm a little upset that Ben got like 2 inches taller because he's already tall, dark, and handsome enough.
Culture is something we think about like all the time at Strookies. You know, we're all coming from different cultures.
Our comments have exploded
Through the roof.
So there you go. All right, we're going to start this show off with what's apparently a hot button topic today.
I did not know this
here
was...
at Gardner's Mattress and More in wonderful Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So Lancaster Connects, brought to you by Gardner's Mattress and More. We're here in the store. We're talking with our team, and I don't know exactly how it came up, but
They were talking about the types of cereal they like.
yeah. And so it was revealed, and it was one of our salespeople. We'll leave him nameless because I think it's a shameful thing. But he doesn't like the leftover cereal milk at the bottom of your bowl once you've eaten your cereal.
Man, you take that to the face. That's
You slurp that goodness up.
it's terrible for the participants in your breakfast table, on your breakfast table. But
I mean, you have Lucky Charms flavored cereal milk,
cinnamon,
granola, cinnamon toast crunch, frosted flakes,
the chocolate cereal. You got chocolate milk left over.
Yeah, Cocoa Puffs. I don't know.
It's what you look forward to after eating a bowl of
This
cereal.
may have to go in his file. Just saying. So, if you're out there watching, let us know yes or no to drinking your cereal milk that's left over afterwards.
Yes, you drink it. No, you don't drink it.
Our guest on the show is not. She's of the camp of no suit to the cereal milk.
You're allowed to do with your milk whatever you
That's
like
right.
to do.
It's your milk.
It's your cereal milk.
Like that J.G. Wentworth commercial. It's your money, get it now. It's your cereal milk, drink it how you want it.
Right.
Something like that.
Right.
But this is Lancaster Connects, more than just a show about goofy things happening inside the mattress store. But what we do inside here is bring you this show all about giving back to the community, putting light and spotlight on good people doing great things in and around the Lancaster area. So we love that you're here. If you want all the updates, you want to follow along easily, please subscribe, please like where you're watching this video, be that on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook. We'd love for you to follow us and subscribe to the show so you can know when we go live each Monday at 2. And if you want to catch it on audio, although you'd miss out on all this awesomeness here on your screen and in this character here, you can check it out on audio on all the major podcast players. So
I forgot to ask you this morning, Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
How was your smoked turkey? The turkey on the smoker.
We didn't do it.
Oh,
this week. That's later. We're going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
I was excited to see how this turned out.
Yeah. Well, Black Friday was preparing for the hunting gear I needed for Saturday.
And then you hunted.
And then I went hunting on Saturday. And
smoking's a whole day thing.
Yep.
Or most of the day.
Yeah, it is. Yep. And I got a climbing stand. And that, as I told you, that used some muscles that I wasn't prepared to use.
Yeah, you didn't know you had.
Or aware that I even had. So if you've ever watched somebody climb a climbing tree stand, if you look it up on YouTube, it looks very easy, but I can attest it's not. Now, I'm not the most slim of woodsmen that are out there, but I've got some moves, and man, this one was rough.
Bear-like. So I'm curious. Do you have to find a tree that's like a certain diameter, or doesn't have low branches? It has to be pretty
tall.
Yeah.
And you want about 10 to maybe 15, 20 inches in diameter at the most.
Okay. Yep.
It's all just friction. It's really wild to think that there I am with my rifle sitting in the stand. pretty wild to think that it's just like friction that's making you stay up there 10
Right.
to 20 feet in the air.
Right.
Of course, have your safety harness and stuff, but it's all pretty
Safety
wild.
first.
And it was, it was fun. And so more antics to follow there. But no, Saturday was hunting, and then Sunday was getting the stuff ready for the house, and then football, and now here we are today.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's a good weekend. We'll look for the turkey smoking update later.
Yeah, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. That's like a good thing. Maybe next week. Yeah, we'll get it done.
Hey, we should introduce our new sponsor.
We should.
It's not a new month, but for Lancaster Connects episode wise, it's a new month.
This is a big deal around here. We've got production schedules and sponsors to please and make everybody happy. And since we're in the business of helping you wake up happy, we're going to make our sponsors happy. And this month's sponsor can make your people happy on your Christmas gift giving list. Lancaster Gift Box makes it really easy to share, really easy to give great gifts. They share a luxurious taste of Lancaster County with friends and clients nationwide. They've got a really great commitment to supporting local food producers here in Lancaster and create these gift boxes and curate these signature gifts and baskets with a lot of the great local flavors that we have. And they deliver that right to the people who you want to give gifts to. So LancasterGiftBox.com is the place to go. They've got an amazing selection. There also are contests this month. Well, for this show and the next three.
The next 3 shows.
And so you're going to enter to win a Taste of Lancaster gift box. We put that live on the
Just
website.
Launched it this morning.
Yep, just today. And so you get to enter to win that, and we'll announce that winner on December 18th.
That would be a great gift to give. Well, really anybody on your gift giving list. People that like food, of course, anybody that's out of town.
And missing Lancaster.
Yeah, right. Or missing Lancaster. That's a great point. Lots of great locally made produce and items in there. Stroopies are I think my favorite in that box, but I see some chocolate, popcorn, and some other goodies in there. We had Chris had the sponsor slide on the screen there. Gabriel was a Lancaster Connects guest a few episodes ago. I think back in early November or late October, he was a guest. So you can check that out on lancasterconnects.com/episodes. Right on the top of the page, you'll see our episode list there. Gabriel and I believe his wife, Diana, he was on our show a few shows ago. Great show, great local business right on Queen Street in Lancaster, doing some really pretty neat things to improve the neighborhood, if you will. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So if Charlie Brown had a contest box, like he had a Christmas tree,
like a Christmas tree,
this would be our. December 18th is going to be a big day here on the show. We have the Lancaster Connects contest winner to announce, and then we have this one. So this is a contest that we're running. We like to have a little donation give back thing to what we do around here. So this month, if you come in, just as we had last month, yes, come into Gardeners and bring in a non-perishable food item, you'll get a contest entry in the box to win a $500 Visa gift card. And we feel this is a great little contest to run, introduce people to us, our show. Maybe we make a new connection with somebody local who doesn't know about us. We do good by giving back food, and you get entered to win a $500 Visa gift card. We'll draw that winner on December 18th. So help my little Charlie Brown contest box out, because we need some more entries. Because
we need some more.
We don't mind giving the gift card away, but I do want to have a whole bunch of food to donate. Last time we had about 215 pounds of food that we donated.
It was a mound.
Yeah,
right inside the door.
It was a logistical issue because we had food everywhere. And then we loaded it up and got it to Hempfield Food Pantry, about 215 pounds. But this one, I don't know. I think all the holiday fanfare maybe in social channels has...
Thanksgiving distracts from, being out there, right, and donating. So great, now that we're kind of flipping the calendar, now's your opportunity to do that. Hey, if you're coming by the mall,
I was just going
to
say,
do some Christmas shopping, we're right across the street, Park City Mall. So
right just behind Manheim Pike, right off of Harrisburg Pike. So come on in, donate a box of macaroni, some cans of soup, whatever non-perishable food item you want, and we'll get it to the right people, and you get entered to win. So without too much further ado, we've been bantering for a little longer than normal,
Yeah.
but that cereal milk thing
That's an important discussion.
it is. Let's continue it. This way. Man, I love podcasting. You just get all these creative ways to introduce your guest to the show. Kristen Richards from Front Porch Baking Company. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
And Kevin
Hi.
St. Cyr from Score Lancaster. Welcome to Lancaster Connects.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Kristen, we started out and we kind of gave it away. So, what is it about the cereal milk that you don't enjoy?
I don't know. I think I just eat my cereal too slow and then it's not cold anymore. And
Gotcha. Well,
there's
yeah.
something about the mushy milk flavor that I'm not a fan of.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I can see. Yeah, you don't want to drink warm milk. Yeah,
Right.
That just tells me I've been eating my cereal way too fast.
yeah,
all my
right.
life.
No
I've never had to
judgment.
worry about warm milk. Kevin, how about you?
I'm just like you guys. I told you I had to defer to Kristen, but I did this morning take the leftover milk in a granola based cereal and just drank it just the way you guys do. So I think I've been doing that since Life cereal when I was 5 years old, with that cinnamony taste from Life.
Eat it by the bowlful.
It would be an interesting, to kind of take it another step further. Like there are people that entirely clean their plate off, like of all the gravy and stuff that's on the plate, and then there's people that leave that stuff on there after all the other stuff is gone. It's probably the same discussion. The people that drink their milk, or the people that like completely clear off their plate, and opposite. So
My
I
grandpa
could
called that
lead in
mopping
that
bread.
one. I'll lead in on that one for you. If they have a piece of Kristen's homemade bread, they'll definitely sop up whatever's food on the table.
What a transition there. I love it. I love
that.
it.
So yeah, let's dig in. We'll ask both of you what your favorite all-time bakery item is.
Oh,
Good
that's a
icebreaker.
question. Yeah.
So Kristen, we'll have you go first.
Okay. Yeah, I love a good almond croissant. That's definitely my favorite
Oh, okay.
bakery item. Yeah.
And is that something you make in your
I used
in your
to. We
business?
actually, at our shop, we're nut free, so we actually don't use any nuts in our bakery. But yeah, I miss making them. But it's a nice treat to get when I go to other bakeries around.
Okay, Kevin, how about you? Your favorite baking item?
I've become a fan in my older years of great breads, and so a variety of breads. I like multi-grain, spelt, but I also get a good rise and sourdoughs as well.
That's
Very
cool.
good. Very good.
Hard to go wrong with a really good bread, right?
Right.
Yep. So, Kristen, Front Porch Baking Company, I really don't know a whole lot about, and I understand you are a COVID success story, which is just, a few years ago. Can you talk about how Front Porch Baking Company began and how you've evolved a little bit over the last few years?
Yeah, definitely. So I never, let's see, it's a long story, I feel like. But
Hey, we've got time.
yeah. When we started out, I I had left my full-time job. I had worked in a local restaurant, and just kind of wanted to start the idea of working on my own business. So it was more of just like a part-time venture. And then with COVID, when that happened, I had lost my part-time job. And I figured, well, I have this bread oven at my house. I've been working on my business. It's kind of now or never. So I just started baking from home. I already had a bit of a customer base and a customer following. So from that regard, it was a little bit easy to kind of have people to reach out to see if they wanted bread. Um, and it also was nice for me. I could bake bread at our house, go deliver it. I didn't have to have any contact with anybody. I could just leave it on their front porch. it was helping me not feel like trapped inside and like I was still giving back to people. Yeah, and it just kind of grew from there. And during that process, I was working on getting into the Lancaster Marketplace,
Hmm.
which was a market off of Fruitville Pike. Um, I want to say it was probably there for about 2 or 3 years, and I kind of came in at the tail end of that. We were just there for about 6 months. Um, but I was able to start there in October of 2020, and I was able to do all of my baking there, um, kind of get a feel for what it would be like doing retail, especially kind of in the new food climate. And I did mostly home deliveries still, or curbside pickups, that sort of
Hmm.
thing. I tried to just make it as accessible as possible. Um, and then that grew into finding a storefront in Millersville. And yeah, that we've been in Millersville for a little over 2.5 years. And then we now have a production space in downtown Lancaster as well,
Oh,
which
wow.
has been a big undertaking. Um, that just came about this past summer, really just because our space in Millersville is wonderful and I don't have any intention of leaving it, but we needed to be able to be more efficient in the production side of things. And that space is a little bit more focused on retail. So we had an opportunity come up where we could move into a space downtown. So now we kind of have these two spaces that we're managing, but we just do all of our retail in Millersville still.
The Millersville location, is that,
Yeah.
well, I don't think they're there anymore, but Wiley's Pharmacy, is it that building that
Yes,
Wiley's used to be in? Yeah, I think a lot of people in that area would know Wiley's Pharmacy was. And I think, are you
definitely.
in the space where there was a dry cleaner? You and
Yes,
me?
yes, we're Yorgies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep, we're in that space.
I thought I recognized that space there.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a great spot. We have a great customer base there in Millersville. Everybody's super supportive and just appreciative to have a small local business in their community. So it's been nice.
that's awesome. So we know you're a
Yeah,
bakery. You mentioned earlier that you're a nut-free bakery. Can you talk a little bit about some of the bakery items that you make and specialize in?
sure. Yeah, so we specialize in sourdough bread, or just naturally leavened bread. We use a sourdough starter to leaven all of our breads that we make. Um, we do a classic sourdough that we offer every day we're open, and then we rotate our other breads. So we kind of have like daily breads on certain days of the week. And then we also make pastries that are really like seasonally inspired and just focused on whatever's available locally, um, from our, local farms in the Lancaster community. So a couple popular items that we make are apple turnovers, our cinnamon buns. Let's see what else. We do a chocolate chip cookie. We just did a squash cake that was really a big hit.
Mm.
So
Oh, the
yeah.
cinnamon. I'm like doing the Homer Simpson gargle here about the cinnamon buns. Man,
Yeah,
that
we
was
only make those
great.
on Saturday, so they're like kind of a
Mm.
special treat. But
Yeah, and the pretzels I saw,
yeah.
um, they looked. I caught a quick glimpse of the caption from the Instagram page that our producer Chris is showing.
Yeah.
Um, it looked like there was something special about the way you make those pretzels. Is that right?
Yeah, we do rye flour. A big focus of our bakery as a whole is using um, whole grains. So we use a lot of different locally milled and grown grains and flour
Oh,
in
cool.
our breads and pastries. So the flour in our pretzels is mostly rye flour, and
Hmm.
um, we do like a traditional like lye bath, um, versus using like baking soda or something like that. Just kind of gives them that really crisp like pretzel crust that has that malty flavor to it. And then we sprinkle
Love it.
some like everything bagel seasoning on them just for something different.
Love it. Rye pretzel with rye whiskey.
Yeah, so I'm curious,
Yeah.
Kristen. I am wheat free because of an allergy.
Okay.
And I
He
don't
just
know.
thinks it's cool.
Yeah. Uh, rye flour, is that something that I could eat, being wheat free, or
Rye
no?
is it doesn't have the same protein structure that wheat does, but it does still have a protein
Gluten?
of gluten in it.
Okay. Yeah.
So you might find it depends. If you have celiac, I would say no. If you have an
Yeah, I don't.
allergy, you might be able to digest rye a little bit easier, especially if it
Interesting.
is sourdough based, because the fermentation process kind of
Right.
helps to break down that protein structure.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, the only flour you could definitely eat buckwheat. That's naturally gluten free. Um,
Hmm.
it actually comes from a seed versus a grain. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting outlooks and conversations about gluten and
Right.
what,
Right.
what people can and can't eat.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like we should order a bunch of those pretzels. And either way,
Yeah, you can
Jeff
find
wins.
out. Yeah.
Because if Ben can't have them all, get his pretzels.
That's right.
So we have
That's funny.
someone else on the show. Kevin, you've joined us here for the show. Now, your connection here today is you volunteer your expertise and your time and knowledge with SCORE. And we've talked about SCORE a few times here on the show. SCORE is a nationwide organization that has local chapters, local affiliates that help up and coming businesses starting out like Kristen did a couple years back. And their volunteers bring their expertise and their knowledge base out and share that. And so, Kevin, thank you for doing that. Tell us about how you and Kristen connected and what that relationship's been like, and what have you enjoyed about that process so far working with Front Porch?
Sure. Just to carry on what you said first, we have 80 mentors in the local Lancaster, Lebanon chapter, and there's 10,000 of us across the country. And so a lot of them might have baking experience, so I can draw in 20 or 30 others if Kristen has a problem and I can't handle it with her. I have a lot of resources inside SCORE, which is one of the benefits of SCORE. Kristen and I met when she was coming off of another program. She's a very knowledgeable person and takes advantage of great local opportunities. She was in an assets program in Lancaster. I think it was a fall program where she was in a cohort of people who wanted to start a business. So they went through a lot of the business startup fundamentals. And usually when that program ends, SCORE comes in and assists in giving feedback to their presentations, basically their graduation presentations. And then we mix and mingled, and Kristen and I had a conversation and we talked about it, and she asked me to become her mentor. And in SCORE, our mission is to provide mentoring and education. So in this case, I'm her primary or lead mentor. And she explained to me what her vision was to start her own business. This is while she was employed, but she knew that she had the passion and the fire in the gut, as we say, to start her own business. And we worked on a number of areas, including conceptualizing the business, I think we did the financial model, the 3-year financial projection, and all the other things that come to play when you think about launching a business. We had that conversation. And I remember as COVID, it brings back memories, because we have a relationship now, must be about 6 years. And I can remember when she moved into her first stand, like a 10-foot wide at most stand, and she had her oven in there down in that place in off Fruitville Pike. And it was just amazing to see how much progress she had made then, and making a go of it during COVID and being successful at it. And then she had to exit that place unexpectedly, and she found a location in Millersville, and she's been thriving there. And you heard her say that she had to expand to get an oven capacity somewhere else. So this is truly a great success story locally. And one last plug for Kristen. When I say I prefer breads, it's thanks to her. I will say I've traveled the world in my career globally, including the best bakeries in the world, like in Germany and Paris. And she makes the finest bread anywhere. And that's nothing to say about her pastries, nothing against her pastries, because those are good. But her breads are off the charts, best in the world, in my opinion.
That's incredible.
Tremendous endorsement.
I have some questions
Yeah.
about the bread in just a moment, but Kevin, talking about the mentorship, um, what does that look like? Is that checking in? Is it monthly meetings? What does mentorship entail?
In a startup phase, we might have met every couple of weeks, at least once a month in the early days, but probably a couple of weeks as we start drafting out the sketch of what a business plan looks like and what a financial projections plan looks like.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the banks, if the banks know that SCORE has been involved, um, they can appreciate the fact that those financial projections and the business plan has had just an extra set of eyes and ears on it, and I think it gives help and credibility to that entrepreneur who really a lot of times doesn't have the financial wherewithal to hire a consultant at $200 an hour. That's one of the benefits of SCORE is the free mentoring and education from a lot of people who have a lot of experience. And like I say, if I don't have an answer for her, I can probably find it somewhere in SCORE. And then as the journey evolves, I mean, of course, I see Kristen sometimes when I just stop by her bakery and see how things are going and walk out with $20 worth of bread or something like that. But she knows that even as a thriving business now, that SCORE is always there for her. It's a lifetime journey. Some of our clients get the answer. It's a kind of a once and done thing. But a lot of clients like Kristen know that SCORE is here for as long as they want to keep the relationship. And they we encourage the SCORE client to drive the agenda, to drive the meeting frequency. We can nudge them along a little bit, but since it's their business, we prefer that I prefer at least they take responsibility in terms of setting the pace, and we can coach them along as necessary. But in Kristen's case, it didn't really matter because she had this passion to get in her own business, and she obviously succeeded.
Yeah. Again, kudos, Kristen, for all your success to date.
Thank you.
I think one thing I want to add to Kevin about what SCORE offers, and Kristen, maybe you can attest this. I don't know your background beyond what we've shared here today, but I think sometimes people looking at business and that opportunity can get discouraged and say, well, I don't know a banker. I don't know somebody in real estate. I don't have those connections. It seems like a good old boys club. It seems like you got to be in the know. And I think one of the most powerful things about SCORE, and really, I know our chapter from prior conversations locally is one of the stronger chapters in the nation, and if not the strongest one in the region. And that's your in. So if you're in this area, SCORE is your into business because there are all those assets of knowledge, expertise. Kevin just said it, like, if you bring a financial plan forward and they know SCORE has been involved, there's a leg up on that.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to point that out as you were sharing your insights, Kevin. Kristen, did you ever have any of those feelings of like you might have been on the outside looking in? Did SCORE help you bring you in and accelerate your success?
Yes, definitely. I would say between SCORE and the classes I took through assets, we're very fortunate in Lancaster to have such a strong small business community, and there are so many great resources here. So having access to both of those, you know, companies have definitely helped me because it is intimidating. You're like, okay, I have this idea, I have this skill, I want to put it out into the world on my own terms, but like, where do you start?
Right.
So it does feel intimidating in a lot of ways, and having just known about SCORE over the years, and when, like Kevin had mentioned, when we started our relationship as he is my mentor, I was still working full time at my job, and I
Hmm.
knew it wasn't the right time for me to go out on my own, but I also knew when I was ready, I could reach out to him or somebody else, at SCORE, whoever, and they would kind of help me start that process. So I felt like, yeah, I had, somebody holding my hand, so to speak, being able to coach me along.
Very
Yeah,
good.
that's huge. Kevin, go ahead.
I just wanted to add that to Kristen's point about being a kind of a daunting, intimidating experience. The one thing that I think SCORE does a lot that should be reassuring to anyone considering getting a mentor is a lot of times we're just a sounding board. The entrepreneurs out on their own trying to figure out where do I go, how do I do it. They just need to bounce an idea off somebody and get some feedback, and a lot of times they have to make the decision to go with it. So um, we're all SCORE mentors are trained to listen and assist clients in terms of taking the best actions moving forward. But listening is the first step, and we just want to be sure that that client has the best chance to success.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we've done what now 4 or 5 of these SCORE-based shows, talking to different SCORE mentors and businesses that SCORE has helped, and it's always the same every time how much impact SCORE has had with those individual business owners. And I know there's hundreds and hundreds of businesses
Yep.
just in Lancaster County that are impacted positively by SCORE. I'm gonna flip the tables back to the baking and the food. Kristen, we've heard Kevin rave about the bread. So I've 2 questions.
Sure.
How did you learn how to make bread and other baked goods? And what is it about the bread specifically, like the locally sourced ingredients I think you use, and maybe there's other special ingredients that you'd like to share? What
Yeah.
those 2 questions. How did you learn, and what's in the bread that makes it so good?
Well, it started out just as a hobby for me, baking with my grandmother. Was from Germany, so I grew up around a lot of European baked goods and pastries, a lot of rye bread, a lot of German Christmas cookies, things like that. I didn't really grow up eating a lot of the traditional kind of PA Dutch, um, like baked goods, which was an interesting experience for me as a kid. Um, and I just was able to learn from her. She was always baking, always cooking, and yeah, just kind of was my hobby. And as I got older, I considered other career paths, that I tried entertaining, and I was like, no, I don't think that I want to do. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a nurse.
Hmm.
I just want to be a baker, which I think my parents were a little skeptical about, um, at the beginning, but yeah, yeah. So I just really was passionate about it, knew it was what I wanted to do long term, and I've been fortunate to have the ability to do that. And I guess as far as like the ingredients and the local sourcing of ingredients, that really became important to me, um, kind of when I started meeting other bakers in the community, and social media actually has helped a lot with that, just being able to virtually meet other bakers out in the world in general, um, and finding out more about whole grain baking, and that there are local mills still, in Pennsylvania that grow and mill their own wheat or rye or spelt. Um, And yeah, I found that flour that you can, purchase at the grocery store is much different than flour you can buy from a local mill, um, and that it actually has a lot of different flavor components to it, um, that yeah, you wouldn't really think of. It took me a while to learn that like flour can be flavor as well in a recipe, where you kind of think it's the backbone of most recipes, but it really can add so much if you're, choosing different grains to kind of highlight those flavors.
I mean, that's
torture looking at the photos on the screen here. Making me hungry.
That's so funny.
so. I think one of the things that Chris had up on the screen showed you actually
Making baguettes at 3:30 in the morning.
3:30
Yeah.
a.m. I guess. I mean, baked goods, especially like some breakfast stuff, you have to make super early, right? That's
Yes. Yeah, I start my days very early.
And it looks like from that video, it looks like there's some defined skill in the way you're kneading. Is that the right
shaping.
term?
Yeah, shaping. Yep. Yeah,
There
there's
you go. Look at you.
great.
Kristen, do you have anything that's uniquely yours, like something you've come up with that nobody else has ever made before? Like, do you have your own creations or your
Oh
own
gosh.
twists on originals, if you will?
Yeah, that's tough. I feel like, somebody you're you're always kind of copying somebody along the lines somewhere, if
Sure.
that makes sense. Like I've adapted our baguette recipe to kind of fit into my own style of baking.
Okay.
They're all sourdough based and using local grains, so things like that. As far as like my very own recipes, I would say like some of our cakes that we have are family recipes.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, but I just try and pull from all different resources that I'm able to. I've other jobs that I've had. Maybe a boss has given me a recipe and I've kind of tweaked
Mhm.
it to take
That's
my own spin on it. Things like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're being very humble here. We tried to give you a nice softball question, but
Oh,
you actually have a best bread in Pennsylvania distinction. Is that correct?
yes, I was very
Tell us
fortunate to
about
be
that.
included. Yeah. I honestly had no idea that that was even going to happen, which was kind of funny. A customer of ours actually texted me and said, "Oh, Kristen, did you see you were included on this list?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I had no idea. So yeah, it was me and then two other bakeries in Pennsylvania, that two bakers that I really admire. Um, and yeah, the man who wrote the article, David, he actually had bought bread for me during the pandemic when I was still baking out of my house. Um, and I had looked at his social media and it said like food and wine writer, and I was like, "Oh, is that real?" Like, I don't know. And then, a year later, this article comes out, and I was like, "Oh, okay, wow, that's pretty incredible." Um, so yeah, that was a nice surprise to be included in the list like that. There's so many wonderful bakeries in Lancaster and across the whole state, so I was very, honored to be included.
That's so cool.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
congratulations. I mean, we
thanks.
know, I don't know how competitive the scratch made, you know, uh, whole grain, I don't even know if I'm saying this right, bread
Yeah,
baking business is. In Lancaster, there's at last track about 137, and that's not an exaggeration. Kevin, we learned that because SCORE told us to look up the NAICS code for competing businesses. And at the time in 2011, there was 137 places to buy a mattress in Lancaster County.
Wow.
And so,
wow.
uh, so we've been a favorite mattress store for 14 years in a row. We're honored for that. And I'm happy that you have a best bread in PA
Thank you.
award, because I have no idea how competitive it is, but it doesn't matter.
There's
If
a
you're the
lot of bread in
best,
Pennsylvania.
there is.
Yes,
If you're the best, you're the best. So
definitely.
that's great.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Thanks.
Kristen, so
Yeah,
for somebody that's hungry like us,
yeah.
uh, they can buy your bread and your bakery items at the Millersville shop. What's the address of
Correct.
that shop?
It is 513 Lehman Avenue,
Okay.
and we're in
Okay.
the Millersville Center there.
And is there any other places, or are there any other places that your bread can be purchased, maybe at a market stand or online? Do you have an online purchasing capability on your website?
We do pre-orders on our website, so you could
Okay.
order ahead and come pick it up at a later date. That's a popular option, especially for people on Saturdays. Saturdays are really our busiest day, so a lot of people will pre-order so they can come later in the day and they don't feel like,
Yep.
oh, I'm gonna miss out on something I really want. Um, Other than that, we just do wholesale, so we also partner with some local restaurants
Oh, okay. Yeah.
downtown that use our bread in their own dishes. Um, so that's been very nice. Probably between like 6 and 9 different places we'll use our bread from time to time. So
Who
we'll
are some of
flip.
those? Who are some of those restaurants?
Zotropolis uses our bread.
Okay.
Um, Cozy, he's at Southern Market. He's a stand in
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Yep.
Another like small business incubator kind of space, which is cool.
Yeah. It is a really neat
Um,
space.
yeah, Amanita Cafe, they're on West Walnut. Um, La Petite Patisserie uses our
Yep.
bread for some of their dishes. Yeah, a few places. We were just
That's
making bread
cool.
for the horse in. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's
So I
fun.
have another question in line with the passionate response that cereal milk has, but this
Okay,
relates to bread.
fair.
So, in your professional opinion, is it best to butter your breads, oil,
Oh.
like on the
Yeah.
plate,
Hmm.
dip it in oil, or just enjoy it in its natural state?
Well,
That's
I'm definitely a big fan of butter.
I knew I loved you as a guest.
The more butter, the better.
Kevin. Are you a bread
Butter,
butterer?
butter, periodically, 95% butter, 5% oil or less.
Yep.
Butter's number one by a long shot.
Yeah. Maybe it depends on the meal that the bread is going with, what
Yeah.
you would do there. But yeah, bread. I
Sounds
mean,
like we should have a reading of the Butter Battle Bread book. What was that book from Dr. Seuss? Is
I
that
don't
it?
know. Feels like you just made something up.
I didn't make it up. That's a real book. It's a Dr. Seuss book. It's got an orange cover.
Okay.
You don't know that book?
I don't think so.
Get off my show. How do you not know the
There it
Butter
is.
Battle book?
We didn't have that one. Look, I don't.
That's funny.
The two factions, one butters it on upside and one butters it on the underside.
Okay. Seuss had the hard hitting questions.
That's right.
Definitely.
That's right.
Kevin, we'll switch back to score if there are other small businesses either starting out or already in progress, or even just people with ideas of what they might want their business to be, and they're looking for score mentorship or a score program. What's the best way for somebody to get started?
It's a good question because half of our new clients are startups like Kristen was, an entrepreneur. Others are small businesses that have a challenge or have a question or want to grow to a different level. Or so we deal with 50% startups and 50% existing businesses every month. They should simply go to www.score.org and scroll down and request a mentor. If they put the zip code in and it's in our county, they'll be directed to our chapter and assigned a mentor. So it's as simple as that, www.score.org and request a mentor.
And again, I just want to reiterate, I think there's so many people. Actually, there was somebody that I met at an event last month, and I need to reach back out to her. I attempted to make a connection to someone else in the pet industry who has since moved on, but I'm going to pass Score's information on to her because, again, it's you don't need to feel like you got to go this alone. Entrepreneurship can be lonely. It can be this big, all-encompassing thing, and it is. It's not for the faint of heart, right, Kristen?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
there's
Yes,
a
it
lot
is
to entrepreneurship.
challenging. Yes.
But a resource in our backyard like Score and the depth of knowledge and the expertise that people bring is really, really astounding. I mean, it is your in, and it's right there. Score.org/Lancaster-Lebanon gets you right there. And you've got those people in your back pocket to lean on and make sure your idea is gonna have the best chance for success. So I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time for our connection cocktail. So maybe we should have had our French wine connection and bread, right?
Right.
Wine and bread
Right.
and a little bit of cheese on the side.
our connection cocktail this time is switched up a little bit. It's a little bit more maybe business and score focused. A lot of times the questions are, about what you like about Lancaster and stuff like that. But Kristen, we wanted to ask you, like, what aspect of entrepreneurship, really what Jeff was just talking about there, has been most surprising to you?
Oh boy.
Coming from a full-time job to transitioning over the last few years to your own business.
Yeah. There's been a lot. It's been a big undertaking. I would say just for me, the biggest surprise or what I find most challenging is like I am a baker and I'm good at what I do as far as the baking and
Mm-hmm.
the hands-on side of things, but then also having to, because we are so small, I also handle so much of the, behind the scenes, the
Yeah.
office work,
Everything else.
yeah,
Yep.
everything else. Like nobody else is doing any of that for me. Maybe one day, hopefully that's the goal. So just trying to also be good at all of those things has been very challenging and
Yeah.
surprising in a lot of ways. Just, you know, trying to learn all the ins and outs of
Right.
financial literacy and everything like that is, yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah. Being an entrepreneur, starting out on your own, it's like a crash course. It's just
Yes.
like you'll learn by the seat of your pants sometimes, but it's great to have a resource like SCORE to bounce things off of and find help when needed.
Yeah, definitely. I do feel lucky that I can reach out to Kevin if I need advice or assistance, and he's always available to help me out.
It's great.
Yep, love
Yeah.
it. Kevin, for you, in one word, how would you describe your experience working with Kristen and her company, Front Porch Baking?
I'll just give a little preamble to that. You've heard the saying, "For it is in giving that we receive." And the one word I would say is rewarding, because just a little bit of my time given to Kristen and to see her evolve from where she came with an idea to have a thriving business with probably even bigger ambitions than she first started. It's just so rewarding. So that's the word. And I'm looking forward to staying in touch with her.
Love it.
That's great.
Love it. Thank you both for your time on the show
Yeah,
today.
thank you.
Really appreciate you. Kevin, congratulations on your successful career over the years, and an immense amount of gratitude to you for giving back that expertise, that knowledge, that guidance back to our community, because you do make it better. So thank you for that. And Kristen, congratulations to you for that launch of a career. Launch of your business from a career,
Thank you.
and that you're off the ground. We know retail is not for the faint of heart. You've got that. You've got the auxiliary location. You're doing some amazing things at Front Porch Baking Company. Get that great sourdough bread, those rye pretzels, the 3:30 a.m. baguettes. Follow everything that Kristen's doing. All of her socials are here with the notes. Thank you both so much for joining us on the show today. We appreciate you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it.
Have a great afternoon.
Take care.
You too.
I just had lunch, but I'm hungry again.
We do this every time, and we have a food episode, and we don't have food in front of us.
I think what we need to do as we evolve the show, or this is episode, it's taken us 121 episodes to figure this out. Ben, come on. In 2024, we need to have anybody that's food related.
Yes.
We need to get, and we'll pay for it.
Yeah, we need a care package.
We need a care package to munch on while we have the show. This way we can fully endorse the rye pretzels.
Buttered our bread.
Buttered it.
Done all of the things.
Just take that whole stick of butter and smack it on.
But the problem, then we would just be munching the whole time. We'd be have to ask a question and be like, rah, rah,
that's a problem?
Well, I guess not.
Chris can mute it. He can mute between the bites.
That's true.
Anyway, if you want to be...
Next week we'll have cereal.
Yeah. Remember those little cardboard cereal packs?
Oh, yeah.
And you'd cut it open and the little doors would open up, and then you pour the milk in.
Yes.
We should just, old time's sake, man, the whole variety pack. And we could rate all the cereal milk
Rate 'em?
from best, like sweetest.
Oh,
to,
right. You're not rating the cereal, but the milk after the cereal.
Yeah,
I get you. I get you.
yeah. And then the next show we'll do bread, and we'll just get all of Kristen's bread, and then butter.
I'm on board.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm on board.
I love it. Well, look, if you are a business that has food, we'd love for you to be a guest in the show because we'll do what we just said, eat it up while we're on the show. But you don't have to be that. You could be really any great business, great local hero, great local charity, someone giving back, caring about our community. SCORE is a great asset to our community, so we always like shining light on them and the successful businesses that they help bring forth for greater success. But you can be on the show. Excuse me. You go to lancasterconnects.com/guest, and that'll begin the process, and we'll look to book you on the show. I think we're going into March at this point. And so if you think you have a great story to tell and share it with Lancaster, we'd love to make that connection with you. We've got some prizes to announce soon.
We do.
So we're going to have Chris start firing up the prize letter, getting that warmed up so it's at full speed when we go. My sleep better tip, I meant to bring it in, but I forgot. So you've seen these Breathe Right strips. Ben has turned me on to this.
Intake breathing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you call it. They're not breathing strips. It kind of is. It works like a Breathe Right. If you're familiar with the Breathe Right,
it's a whole thing.
But it's like taking it to the next level. They're little sticky magnets you stick on your nose each night, and it's a hard plastic thing with magnets on each end that pulls your nostrils,
your nasal
passage out, and it's like you can breathe like you've never breathed before.
It's wild.
It's amazing.
I've been trying it. I tested out.
Do you get them?
The little, I have the 4-pack of the black bands.
Yep. And
you go to Intake Breathing if you Google it. There's all kinds of results and ways to buy. Dr. Pate at Universal Fitness, the chiropractor there, he can get you a starter pack if you want. I'm sorry, go ahead. So I got the starter pack.
Yeah.
And I've been working through the various drafts.
You figure it out. Yeah.
Last night I found the high test one.
The one that works, right.
It made my nostrils go way out.
It kind of feels unnatural at first.
Kind of.
But did you take a breath then and was
yeah.
Oh my gosh. You almost wonder.
100% oxygen.
Look at Jonna's sleep tip there.
Taping your mouth closed.
I've heard of this, hostage tape, I think they call it.
What?
Yeah. You put tape over your mouth and you're forced to breathe through your nose.
I don't know that I like this sleep tip. It sounds aggressive.
In fact, Dr. Pate from Universal Chiropractor Universal has talked about this. He's not used it. And I've kind of feel the same way. I would be afraid to use it.
We'll have to do more research on this one.
Yeah. But, the intake breathing strips, I think, are fantastic.
So point being, sleep better tip is get the amount of oxygen through your breathing apparatus, whether that's your nose or your mouth. I don't know about this taping thing. But anyway, if you want other tips that don't involve hostage tape, as Ben called it.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Pate called it.
If you want some more tips, we'll mail them to you with the Sleep Better book. gardenersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. And we'll get you that book out for free.
Jonna says it changes the oxygen in your body. That's interesting.
And she doesn't wake up at 3 o'clock. We have to talk about this.
Yeah. Well, if you do wake up at 3 a.m., you could go over to Front Porch Bakery.
I think we'll have to bring Jonna on the show as a special, little fly-in guest for 3 minutes. We'll just ask her, "Hey, Jonna, how's it going?" She'll go, just do the show with the tape mouth. You're not waking up
just
anymore?
Watch her breathe.
Where'd you get your mattress, Jonna?
This show is completely off the rails now, I think.
Yep, it is.
I have a testimonial.
And then the prizelator for the diamond earrings from Van Scoy, Maurer and Bash.
All right. We had Black Friday weekend is you wouldn't think, a lot of people think of Black Friday as, you go to Best Buy, you go to Target, whatever, but we are actually, it's one of the busiest weekends of the year for us. And this Black Friday weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, was the best Black Friday weekend.
Blew the doors off the hinges.
Black Friday singular day. Again, people line up outside of, they're not going to line up outside of a mattress store, but we actually had the biggest Black Friday in history. So pretty cool. Thank you to our customers who supported us and who are going to be waking up happy soon. But we got one review from the weekend that I wanted to highlight from a customer named Judy. And she said, this has to be one of the best experiences we've had in this scenario where you were working closely with the salesperson. So she's not even singling out just mattresses, just any shopping experience where you're working, with
That's
closely
what we lead
with the
our team
salesperson.
with. Best shopping experience for the home.
No pressure whatsoever. We had an idea of what we wanted, but we're open to other options. Phil was great to work with, answered all the questions we had, did not try to sway us towards something more expensive, and was very patient. Drew also helped when we came in to pay and pick up, and he was also great to work with. Best of all, this mattress is great. I think they took their mattress with them. I'd certainly recommend Gardner's. So kind of a whole all-around team experience. Worked with Phil, had a great experience, came back that day, bought from Drew, and you're beaming.
Well, I'm noticing something. Yeah, the show's off the rails. So,
am I doing something funny?
If you've noticed and been a fan, Ben talks with his hands, but there's a new thing. I've seen it now for the last few weeks.
What am I doing?
It's you do a finger point. Seriously, you need to go back like minute 55. As you're talking, your finger does a little.
Holding my phone with my non-phone hand.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Interesting.
He's a finger pointer.
It's just like,
that's a Seinfeld episode if there ever was one.
That's right. Oh, that was in preparation for the show. I wanted to ask Kristen about a marble rye. I bet she makes a marble rye.
What about babka?
Yeah, right. Chocolate babka.
Lesser babka.
The black and white cookie.
Oh, we could have so much fun. Kristen will have to get you back on. Have to get you back on. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching our show. It's time for the Prize-a-lator. This is $200 value diamond earrings from Vanscoy Maurer and Bass Jewelers. They're at 830 Plaza Boulevard, family-owned business, 55 years in town. They're right adjacent to us.
They were our November sponsor and generously donated this contest gift, and we had close to 70 entries.
That's right.
So, Chris, go ahead and give that a spin.
Spin the wheel.
I can't even read a name on there, but I guarantee you there are real names on that wheel,
as opposed to fake names that we put on another contests. Did it hit in the middle? Oh no, Rebecca Campbell. Congratulations.
There you go. Congratulations.
I thought it hit in the middle for a second.
Yeah, it almost had to be a respin if it was in the middle.
Yeah,
but the Prize-a-lator always has a winner, right?
The Prize-a-lator is good. Trust the Prize-a-lator. Look to the Prize-a-lator. That's from the black and white cookie on Seinfeld.
Oh, yes.
Come on, man. Seriously? Yeah,
I'm usually more on the game than that.
Ben has just lost all rights for Seinfeld jokes.
I'm distracted by the hand motions. Now I'm like...
Rebecca Campbell, congratulations.
Sit on my hands.
You can't sit on your hands. May as well just do the show by myself. You won't be able to say a word. Rebecca Campbell, congratulations. Everybody else, thank you for entering. We appreciate your support of the show and our contest and our fun that we have here. We do hope you enjoy what we put out in this hour each week together. We have fun. We hope you do too. Again, congrats, Rebecca. We'll reach out to you and let you know you won. And congratulations. And I think
that's a wrap.
Wraps up the show.
Oh, look, I did that off the camera.
Get the finger pointing under control. All right. Well, till the next connection, we'll see you next week, 2:00 here on Lancaster Connects. Take care.